Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible and visible to you guys. Yeah. Cat Parcha. Continuing with the tradition that I used to do, I think 2 weeks back, last month. Cat Parcha. Is it all? It's all about your interaction with me because there's certain things which you want to ask me. I had a Zoom session as well. Multiple things, multiple queries, which you might come across. It can be academic, non-academic, strategy based, multiple kind of doubts would be there. So let's start with today's cat pe charcha, not chai pe charcha. Probably you are having a tea in your hand, so let's do it. Come up with your questions. Yeah. Hey Sanyukta, Sanjog, okay, I can. I just saw your message. My repeater last year was not able to grasp and retain the concepts of algebra and was finding it difficult to even solve questions in live classes. Okay, Sanjog, it was algebra specifically. All right. I think I remember you. This year, I revised the concept by watching the non-engineers video module, so I was able to solve some questions. But still, I am struggling in some questions to retain the concepts and also in their approach. It's all about algebra. I think sorted with other aspects of quant. And algebra is obviously because you have repeated it. Algebra is very important. So, for algebra, I would say close to 35% approximately questions in quant, they come from algebra, which is comprised of multiple topics, multiple subtopics as well. Sanjukta, yes, you have purchased the April batch 15 days earlier. Okay, cool. New batch start date, it is in first week of May. So whatever the first Monday will be in the month of May, that will be start of the new batch. Nitya, good evening. What different can I do to overcome this already? Now, algebra will be composed of multiple topics. So let me try to make a bucket of topics. The first is equations, and tell me what is your familiarity or comfort with different buckets. In equations, we can have linear equations in one variable and two variables and more than two, three, not more than three. They never ask more than three variables. This is one thing which I hope you are comfortable with. In fact, linear equation is something which we call as word problems. You must have done that in your standard 8, 9, 10th. So this will be the fundamental, right? Okay. Now let me look at more queries. Akshay, LRDI is solving your how to prepare. Okay, I'll come to that as well. Aman, college student, got 37 first mark. It's a good score. Thought my English is good, but only got 6 in VRC. Okay, we'll come to that as well. Shrijan, done everything in arithmetic. TST, can I do it in a week? Will finally be done with college work. Okay, Ariman. Okay, cool. So let me take it one by one. In algebra, which is starting for the first batch, it is starting in the month of May. Algebra. So this is one thing. Other is quadratic equations, which is of degree 2, and then we have polynomials. So this forms the first bucket of algebra, that is equations. Okay, now then we have the fundamentals of, I would say, the building blocks of algebra. In that we'll be having surds and indices and also logarithms. All right. And third bucket will be modulus, inequalities. Then we have sequences in which there is AP, GP, and other miscellaneous sequences. Then we have functions and graphs. So in algebra, what happens? There will be one question from every topic. That is something which you must have observed from last few years. Aryaman, yes. We'll start with algebra post TST. Exactly. Hey Manisha, hi. So that is going to happen. Okay, in all of it, tell me what is the exact problem. Sanjog. Okay, the first thing that you should do, you should pay focus on is surds and indices, because these form the fundamental theorems of algebra. This and this. So these two should be covered first of all. Once you do that, go to quadratic equations, the second approach, second one, and after that, you can take a break and go for sequences and series, because every year in CAT you will see 1 to 2 questions from this bucket itself. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Just solve these 4. By the way, we are starting with the batch and we'll be doing it there as well. But if you want to self-prepare for certain topics in algebra, then this is the order of priority. Okay? All right. Now coming to the basic questions, which talks about LRDI. Someone had this problem. Akshay, LRDI nahi ho raha. Akshay, which batch you are part of? Have you gone through this LRDI essentials? This, and in addition, try to solve a few sudokus. One sudoku every 2 days. Every 2 days. And there are 2 books, puzzles to puzzle you, and George Summers. So you do one thing, you give one complete week to these things. Try to solve, because you won't be solving all the puzzles in these books, but try to solve close to 35 puzzles from both the books, and one Sudoku every 2 days. There is an app called sudoku.com. You can just download it. It's on Play Store, App Store, and start solving. In addition to what you're doing, there's a live class or application classes. All right. Srishan, yes, TST, 1 week. Obviously, you'll be having a week before algebra starts. So finish all the lectures in the recorded format. And also, I'm planning to have a kind of a workshop on TST, maybe this week itself, or maybe next week. So before that workshop, before the next week starts, just finish off with all the recordings. All right. Now, Sanjog. Cristiano, first batch will be completed in mid-July. But we'll keep on conducting workshops so that, you don't feel aloof. Okay. Nitya, you missed 1 week of classes of Quant, so should I attend both live and application till Sunday, or only live classes? Attend both, because the application classes will be the actual application of what you do in the live. Okay, Aryaman? Yeah, I'll do that. Now, Srijan says, completed Great Book of Puzzles and Tears by George Summers. Oh, nice. Yes, that book only, Srijan, exactly. Talking about that book. In fact, I posted 4 to 5 puzzles also with the solutions in this same YouTube channel. Sanjog, is that clear? And this is for all the people who are trying to, develop some kind of logical acumen. By the way, today I shot a few reels in which logical acumen is being built up. So these are puzzles which you should do. And also you can, join certain groups where puzzles are being posted every day. There are multiple groups like that on Facebook, on Instagram and everywhere, on LinkedIn as well. The puzzles in which, puzzles like coin picking, right? It can be, there's certain, okay, let's do a fun activity. I have one, everybody pay attention. There's 1, plus 1 plus 1 plus 5 is equal to 150. I want you to draw just one line. It can be vertical, horizontal, slanting, whatever, so that this equation gets satisfied. These are the kind of puzzles, we should go for. Obviously, CAT would not be asking these kind of puzzles, but this will develop your logical acumen in case you have problems in understanding or interpreting the LRDI puzzles. So these are certain things which, keep on doing. This is something which you won't even, and do not make it a kind of a disciplined approach, ki har din karna hai, not like that. Join a group, whenever you find some, some interesting puzzle, just try to solve that. Hariman says not equal to. Okay, I am saying we have to satisfy this equation. Okay, so the moment I put not equal to, there will be an inequation. That's not even a term in mathematics. It should be an equation. Anywhere else? Till then, I'll look at other queries. Srishan also tried to solve that Puzzles to Puzzle You by Shakuntala Devi. Sanjog, is that clear? You didn't tell me. Concept is clear, but don't know where to use it. Don't worry, we'll be doing it again. I will be try to solve when algebra starts. Try to solve a total of close to 100 questions per topic of algebra and look at the text and video solutions as well. By the way, the best approach is to, because you already repeated things and you have a fair idea about the concepts and the questions. So just do one thing, look at the last 7 years questions, last 7 years past papers, and try to solve all the algebra questions and joke. Just do that, and then still you have some doubt, just just take the screenshot, put it on the doubt group, and tag me. If there is something that is very interesting, if I come up with a very interesting solution, I'll just put it over there. Just do that as much as you can. Who is going to solve this? Who is going to solve this? 1 plus 1 plus 5 is 150. Okay. What if I put a line over here? Oh, it's solved. Cool, no? So, these kind of puzzles I was solving when I was a kid. And a lot of you might be solving it, these kind of puzzles. But those who have not, because sometimes you don't have the time for it, or maybe your approach is more towards clearing the term exams, maybe in standard 8, 9, 10, probably people did not read anything apart from their textbooks. And that is the reason they are, kind of sometimes suffering in CAT. They don't have the habit of reading novels, don't have the habit of watching movies. चेक कर लो कितना हुआ. अरे मान फिर से एक बार 1 plus 145. अरे हाँ ये तो गलत हो गया. ठीक है, मैंने गलत लिख दिया था एक्चुअली. अच्छी बात है, कम से कम देखते रहे हो. तो 146 था यहाँ पे. ऑल राइट, माई मिस्टेक. नहीं 150, नहीं 150, मेरी मिस्टेक थी, मैंने गलत लिख दिया था क्वेश्चन. वो एक्चुअली क्वेश्चन ये था 5 plus 1 plus 5. दैट वॉज द क्वेश्चन. माई मिस्टेक, सॉरी. तो ये 4 है ना, ठीक है, कर लेते. While talking to you guys, I just wrote, mistyped the equation. Now it is fine. It was earlier, it was 5 plus, just write it, 5 plus 1 plus 5. That is how it was. 1 plus 1 plus 5 नहीं था. चलो, anyways. So, all I was talking about, it's not that we have solved the question or not. It's just that do we do these kind of questions? Okay. Quant Quest, want to go through by live classes of number second by you in Agman series. But in dashboard, there is only the recording of first class, which is already seen. What about further classes? They would be unlocked soon. I think they have been unlocked already. If not, just check it once again by this evening and tell me by tomorrow they're not unlocked. I'll just talk to the support team once. Okay, so There can be multiple things like that. There is a kind of a coin picking game. You must have heard that. There are, coins. There are 10 coins, 19 coins, 10 coins, 12 coins. They keep on making these kind of questions where you can pick one coin or two coins or three coins at once. So to let me create the question. Okay, let me create the question. Let's play that game. Let's say there are 18 coins, okay, and two players are playing the game, and any player can pick either one or two or three coins at once. So, what is the number of coins that you will pick if you have the first chance? Heard about these kind of questions, coin picking? So these are some puzzles which you'll find in these books, the books that I mentioned. And these puzzles make you think a lot, make you visualize and observe a lot. So all the skill that we need to develop for LRDI is just visualization, observation, which can be done through these kind of puzzles, through sudokus and solving. If you play chess, but chess is kind of a game in which people actually kind of it can create a you become habitual of it. So if you can just control your urge to play chess all the whole day, try to play chess at least once a week. This also keeps on kind of improves a lot in the logical ability. How many of you play that? So this is about Quant and LRDI. Coming to VARC. In VARC, it's basically language, and there is no end to a language. We keep on talking about language. The entire lifetime will be less to learn a language properly, to learn all the words. That is impossible, right? So for that, we have developed a module called VARC Essentials. In that, what we have done, see, so in the last 7 years, I have analyzed from the time when they actually, kind of published the CAT paper out in the public. I have seen that 50% of the passages are from history, art, or culture, if you have noticed that. Now, when I say history, art, and culture, it looks like just 3 words, but it is a kind of a complete universe, isn't it? History, arts itself is a complete universe. When I say art, it can be music, it can be painting, it can be communication, it can be writing, it can be multiple things like that. So 50% of all the passages are basically from arts, history, culture. Some are from psychology, philosophy, all that stuff is there. So what have we done? We have analyzed those papers and picked up certain words, words like nihilism. Know about that? Nihilism. Or a word like cynicism. All right. Nihilism. So these kind of words are there which we have picked up from the last few years, and based on these words we have created different videos. In those videos we have explained what nihilism means, what is the synonym or the antonym, what the idea is, how the concept developed, and based on that we have an RC passage on these words, and every RC passage will be followed by 4 questions. Okay, so essentials, this module has been made keeping in sync the words which are repeating from last few years, the frequent words, and how they have been used. Is that clear? So I would urge you to watch this, launching very soon, probably by next week, to develop RC skills, and also the reading club, which is on full-fledged these days. I have sent you a book to read. Have you read that or started reading that book? Yes. So based on that, I'll be having 3 passages I'll be making, and we'll be doing a complete RC session based on 3 passages from that book, from anywhere. All right. So these are things which we can do together. But what you can do apart from this, there's a thing called crosswords. Heard about that? It was published every day in the newspapers. It's very common. But these days we have apps for everything. You can look at an app which is crosswords, and you can just put in the meaning is given to you, and you have to fill in the letters, English letters, to create a word. All right. So this gives you, when you do it, somehow, because it is a game, it looks like a game. You know what happens when things are gamified? see that multiple ways to learn something. One is to read things and try to reproduce it somewhere. That is one way. And that sometimes doesn't, inculcate in your mind. So what people do, people come up with different kind of gamified solutions. And CrossFit is something which developed back in 19th century. I don't know who developed it, but that man was a brilliant man. So he developed crosswords in which he gamified the entire vocab building technique, right? So he gave you clues, and some letters were there, others were missing, and based on that, because yeah, now you are in the mood of playing a game and winning it. That's kind of reward mechanism which goes inside your mind. Why we do certain things again and again? Because we feel happy, we like it, we feel rewarded, isn't it? Even if the reward is self-found, you understand that? So that is how these gamified approaches to teaching can actually help you a lot, and make best use of it. This is the right time to use it. In fact, I was solving crosswords as a kid, and that is how I developed a lot of vocabulary. The one more thing that I did was, when I read something, I tried to write the summary of it. Sometimes I started writing poems at a very young age, and I try to fill in, to use those words in my poems. I won't suggest you to start writing poems altogether. No, you are going to managers, not writers. But having said that, I would like you to write a summary. Like, you might be doing one RC set every day probably, or two RC sets every day. But I'm sure none of you would be writing a summary of it, or do you? Do you write the summary? You read something, a passage, write the summary of all the key ideas. Let's say there are 4 paragraphs, 5 paragraphs, and every paragraph would be talking about at least 2 key ideas. Just do that. In fact, I will take a session on that also, but you can also use AI tools for doing it. Put the passage over there and ask the AI tool, whichever you're using, that, give me the key ideas of this. Obviously, the AI tools are not that perfect. They are still learning. They are in their novice stages, but still, it will help you a lot. I will tell you how to do that in a session which will be planning. But summary is something I know that you guys are not doing, so let's start doing that also. Okay, that is going to help a lot. All right. So by doing these things, gamifying your approach, your preparation, it will help you a lot. And when I talk about quants, in quants, there is one more thing which you need to understand. That is whether you are putting in effort at the right place. Okay, that is also important. For example, there's a chapter called numbers, right? Now, we take close to 4 to 5, 6 sessions of numbers, because numbers is, there'll be one more session, Haryaman. Numbers is something which is huge. You keep on doing it again and again, and for 6 to 7 sessions. I know what happens in CAT. Only one question will be there from numbers, which you could have solved without even studying about numbers. Last year, we had one question in each slot of numbers. Okay, and before that, we didn't have any question from numbers. So this is something you need to understand for quant specifically, because quant is the only section where there is a defined syllabus. In LRDI, we don't have a defined syllabus. They can ask any and everything. Okay, in VRC, obviously, there are so many articles out in the world that you cannot cover everything. But here we can cover certain things. So some topics you need to understand by looking at the analyzing previous year questions, that some topics are not that important in terms of frequency of their questions coming in CAT. They can be important to learn mathematics. Obviously, numbers something I love, but I'm saying this for the people who do not like mathematics a lot, but like to be a manager. Okay, those who hate maths but love MBA, for them. Maths is a lovely subject, by the way, but still, because you have just 7 months left, there's a sense of urgency, so you can kind of do some kind of selective study, especially in quants. What you cannot leave in quants is the entire arithmetic, which we have finished in the first batch, and entire algebra. These 2 things you cannot skip in any case. Okay, that is very important. Right, rest geometry. If you see geometry, there are only 3 questions every year, not more than that. But geometry is interesting. If you learn parts of geometry out of 3 questions, you can easily solve one. It's not a great deal. See, people who solved 14 questions out of 22 in quants last year scored about 99.5 percentile. Time and work and TST is a part of arithmetic only, Aryaman. So 14 questions correctly out of 22 will fetch you more than 99.5 percentile. At the very same time, you also need to understand that what exactly happens in the final selection of CAT. CAT is not just about quants or VRC or LRDI. No, it's not about that. Have you ever tried to understand or analyze that why CAT has 66, this time 68 questions, right? And people who solved 34 questions correctly got above 99.95 percentile. अजीब सी बात नहीं है ये. Just 50% of the questions you do correctly and you will score above 99.5 percentile. So what exactly was being checked? Were they testing your mathematical skills, testing your logical reasoning skills, or checking your linguistic skills? Obviously they were, but they were checking one more thing. You know what is that? Who will tell me that? Who will tell me that? What were they exactly checking? In fact, if you go to, let's say, HR, MBA in HR, you won't be requiring mathematics. But still you do it. In finance, you might be requiring, but the kind of mathematics that the finance guys do, it's majorly programming and using software. Decision-making skills, Dolly. Decision-making is a proper section in that. Time management, exactly. Time management. Or I can say efficient exploitation of available resources. Now, I'll just I'll just tell you. I'll make it clear. I'll make it simpler. So let's imagine a hypothetical scenario in which any one of us, or maybe all of us, we are stuck in a forest, a dark forest. Trees are tall, and there are wild animals who can eat you up. It's full of swamps. Okay, you can probably don't know where the ground is, where the swamp is, where the lake is. You can just drown there. So that forest is full of difficulties. Cool. And it's a hypothetical scenario. So what happens? Someone has told you there's a game host, and the game host tells you there are certain clues hidden in the forests. It can be on the, it can be in the roots. It can be on the top of the tree, inside a fruit, or wherever. What do you have to do? Let's say there are 100 clues. Okay, 100 clues hidden over there, and if you select just 40 clues, you will be saved. Understood? Now the problem is, would we be actually looking at finding any of the 40 clues, or would we try to analyze that which clues are easier to find? Tell me that. So 40 easy clues were there hidden in between 100 clues. Now the problem with people is that they are trying to search for the first clue first, the first that is nearest to you. In CAT, what happens? You try to solve the first question. You do not go to the other question directly. So this is what they are trying to check. Whether if you have hundreds of things, would you be able to select the most relevant ones? There's no weightage given to any question. You choose any 40 clues and you'll be given the same weightage. So what we have to do is we have to select those clues, or to select those questions which are easy for us. Now, something that is easy is also very subjective, right? Some people might be great in geometry, but the problem is with geometry is that we'll be having 3 to 4 questions only, not more than that. When we analyze everything in arithmetic and algebra, which will be forming close to 18 questions, you have to select just 14 or maybe just 12. Now, across all the top B schools, the sectional cutoff ranges from 70 percentile to 85 percentile. So this is the, I would say, the safe spot, the sweet spot at which you should lie for all the sections. For every section, you should be scoring at least 85th percentile. And this is something what you do in the next 2 months. In next 2 months, you have to be sure that you will get at least 85 in all 3 sections individually. Getting it? Prakshi will come to your query as well. Do you understand? So all your preparation is focused on getting at least 85th percentile continuously for 3 marks in all the sections individually. Once you do that, your first stage is clear. After that, keep on improving, you know. So let's say you reach only 92 percentile in one section. It can be Quant, it can be VRC, it can be LRDI, and in the rest two sections you score more than 98. So overall your score would be close to 97, 98, 99. So this is something which you should focus at for the next 2 months. Is that clear, everyone? Prakshi's query. Okay, Dev, you put your query over there. After Prakshi's query, I will solve your query as well. Prakshi, series you should prepare quants. The series, I am assuming that you're a student of iQuanta or maybe going to be. So series is something which we are following. Do not just try to jumble up the series. It's like we start with numbers, okay? Then we go to arithmetic, in which there are 8 different chapters. Then algebra, in there again 9 to 10 chapters. Then geometry, and permutations and combinations. This is the series in which you should do it. By the way, the most focus should be given to arithmetic and algebra. Rest, you can, if you, let's say there are 100 points of focus, put 80 focus points on these two and remaining 20 on these two. That is, so the series is not that important. What is important is that you understand what is the weightage of any topic in the real CAT. Is that clear? They've put your query over there. Ashay, easy question in quants I can solve, but when difficulty increases can from equation can't find the right approach. Solving 20 questions per day. But after you see the solutions, do you understand it? Aman, slow reader, some should read a book first, understand? Yeah, that novel is difficult. No, Aman, I think, okay, the first book that I recommended was The Alchemist. It's an easy book to understand. I think you joined late. That is a problem. So if you find and try to look at the group, you'll find Alchemist also. Read that first. Dev, doubt about what approach should I have for LRDI and says example in the LRDI PYQs class yesterday, and there was a few questions he said that I could not solve. Okay, sometimes I'm not able to solve a set at all. So in the above scenarios, of looking at the solution and understanding it should have revised sets which are not able to solve. Okay, Dev, that's a good question. See, let's say, for example, you are solving set 1, set 2 and set 3 in a single day, day 1. Alright, in set 1, set 2, set 3, for example, you solve it completely, you solve this partially. Okay, that means 2 out of 4 questions. Here you could solve only 1 question. You look at the solutions, you understand it. Now, do not solve the questions which you could not solve directly, right away. Wait. You are doing quants as well, VRC as well, whatever your planning is. Day 2. So let's say you try to solve this at 2 p.m. on day 1. Wait for at least 24 hours. After 2 p.m. on day 2, solve the questions which were left unsolved. Okay, wait for at least 24 hours. I'll tell you why. Because we do it outrightly, instantly, you'd already be having loads of information in your mind, so you could be solving it correctly. That won't be the correct test of your understanding. 24 hours later, whether you'll be able to retain those things or not, that is very important. So do this. Clear? Is that clear, Dave? 24 hours later, solve the same set. And you know what? After doing this day 1, day 2 till day 6, you could have done a lot of it, close to 18 sets. Out of these 18 sets, let's say on day 6 you find, after finishing this off, 18 sets you have finished. Now you find that there were 2 sets which were, highly difficult, maybe highly interesting or highly inquisitive. They had loads of information to learn. So on Sunday, that is day 7, just solve those 2 sets which you found the most difficult across these 18 sets. That should be the right approach. Yes, Akshay, do this in quants as well. Do this everywhere. This doesn't hold true for only LRDI. It holds true for VARC, LRDI and quant as well. Always wait for at least 24 hours before re-attempting the same question or the same set. All right. All right. More queries? Have I missed some queries? Ira, how will the new batch catch up? How will the new batch catch up with the early batch in terms of preparation timeline? Also, in our current early batch, will you get a small break to clear backlogs? Ira, yes, you'll be getting a small gap. You are in the first batch, and the new batch C. Normally, it takes 4 months to complete the syllabus of CAT for the first time. So till the end of August, we'll be finishing off with the second batch, which is going to start soon. Remember PCM Venn diagram sets region? Oh yeah, AED exam one, yes. The Jan in batch era, it'll be finished by June. But as I told you, because after June, you'll be feeling, that you are somehow, you'll feel kind of aloof, right? It's a kind of culture. It happens when you start, noticing, observing us every day. It becomes your habit. So after June, you'll be feeling like, okay, what should I do? I cannot see the classes. This not there. Obviously, recordings will be there, and that is the reason we will come up with weekly workshops. We'll give weekly timelines. That is what you have to do, and weekly workshops will be kind of a revision of a lot of concepts through difficult questions. All right. The gap will be, I think it will be in the last few days of April and first few days of May. They not under should revise this difficult sets that I did not understand. I think that's what you want to write. Ashek, able to understand the answer, not being able to solve, but could solve it. Understand the answer after not solving, but could not be solved. I did not get your query, Ashay. Could you just rephrase your statement? All right. Is that all? The queries? Someone asked me free classes कुछ आप लाओ यहाँ पे YouTube पे. Okay, we'll plan that. It won't be the complete, kind of batch classes. It can be just some interesting things to discuss in a topic. We'll do that. All right there. Ira, also certain math basics we should have command over to clear the LRDI sets. It's not FI, it's DI. Percentages, ratio, and quick calculations. These three. Okay, Ira. Quick calculation. I took two Vedic math sessions on YouTube itself. You can just watch it again. Okay, Ashay. Later you cannot solve. Is that happening with a lot of questions? So you can just reduce the gap from 24 hours to 12 hours. Okay, that is 24 hours is suggested. I think you should do that after 2 months. But for now, have a gap of 12 hours to go to that question again. Just mark that question somewhere. And 12 hours, just go to that again. All right. 24 घंटे होना चाहिए आइडली, लेकिन ठीक है, अगर किसी को ऐसा लगता है तो थोड़ा कम कर सकते हो, बट ट्राई टू रीच देयर, कि चलो 1-2 महीने बाद 24 आवर्स वाला हम कर सकें. एनीथिंग एल्स, एनी क्वेरी? Aman, Nishit Sinha books last year edition from my senior, the good or I have to... Aman, see, every book is good, just that it should have ample amount of questions. So you can go with that as well. No problem. Dhruv Bhargav, for maths, what? Complete your statement. What's your question for maths? What? Is that a follow-up question which I missed? No, I think this is the first question that you have asked. Maths is weak. Okay. No problem. Non-engineers QA is the ultimate guide. You know, there's a reason why Kamal sir has done it, because Kamal sir is someone who is a he was a proficient teacher in, you know, basics and fundamentals, and that is the reason he created the entire this module, which is all about 6th to 10th standard NCERT mathematics books. So he created certain videos. Those are bite-sized, small videos, small duration videos. You can watch that over a week, and just like binge watch like a Netflix series, and it will be refreshed automatically. Just do that. Ira, trying to clear backlog, should you try arithmetic first, keep numbers for later? Yes, Ira, obviously, that's what I've been saying. Ashay, regarding profile internships, amount for Jingi NEM 998, are you still in graduation? See, internships is something which is not important. You don't get a quantifiable points for internships actually. Anything which is done after graduation would be counted as work experience. You can do internships because you will learn, you know, you will learn some life skills over there. It won't be counted in the any B school. Aman, just beginning. College student, got 37 first mark, thought my English is good, but got, yeah, that happens with English. Language में तो होता यही है. In fact, you know what, if I give you a Hindi test, Hindi is our mother tongue, right? Probably in Hindi also a lot of people will fail. So language is like that. You need to focus, shift your focus in such a way that you start studying English in the ambit of CAT. That is more important. Sanjog, yes, you're beginning this year as well. Cool, Asher. All right. Anything else? Any query? All right. So I think that is all for the queries. Even the people have gone. A lot of queries have been solved already. How much do you study in a day? That depends on, you know, people to people. Basically, if you are a working professional or a student or someone who has passed graduation and still has time, a lot of time depends on that. But at least 4 hours. At least this is at least 4 hours on weekdays and 8 to 10 hours on weekends. All right. 4 hours on the weekdays, 8 to 10 in the weekends. That's all. Okay, then I'll see you again, guys. I'll keep on coming here live to talk to you. And so you'll always get a notification that I'm going to be live. Prepare your questions. And, you know, so you should have questions ready. That is what I have to ask. And ask the questions, I'll get the answers. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye bye. Good night.